Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we will start in Arabian Ranta, which is the terminus of tramline 6 and 8 and the start of bus line 53. Line 53 is another one of these bus lines running sort of from east to west without visiting the city center, which means that because I haven't created the lines from the city center to the northeastern parts of town yet, there will be a lot of stops to create. I will begin by creating the loop, which in this case looks a bit different than usual, but let's see how it will be. The loop is actually going to work that way, that it's connected to another bus track, but there is a stop in here called Arabia, and the line will run through it to the other direction, but not to the other direction, but I will create this part of track already with the future lines in mind. So there are several bus lines which will stop at Arabia. Well, this one will only stop there on its way to the east, but nevertheless this is the real route, and then we'll create a single track from here. Oh, no. There we go. From here to here, and the real terminus is around here, but as it is called Arabian Ranta, as is the terminus of this tram line, I will just let them share their terminuses. That's much easier that way. And probably there are no other lines going through this. Yes, that's correct. 53 is the only line. So there is the loop. It will stop at Arabian Ranta, it will stop at Arabian Katu, and then the following stop is actually exclusive for the bus line, which means there is a stop we need to create called Kokkosaaren Katu, Ljusarösgatan, and that is located over here. So we will just create single line stops in here and in here, and like I said, it's called Kokkosaaren Katu, Ljusarögatan, so we'll just change the name. There we go. Then we'll need to merge it with the tram tracks like this, and from the other end like this, and then create the signals. But after this, or not too long after this, it will actually lose synergy with the tram track, and so there is a lot to build. It will not stop at Kumtähden kenttä, that's a tram stop, but it will stop at Kumpulan campus. And then, after that, it will turn right. But as there is an important, and this is a very important bus stop actually, the Kumpulan campus stop, which doesn't it's for lines which don't turn to Arabian Ranta. I will have to create that stop over here, so I will not face issues later. So once again, what I've learned from my mistakes, or my previous mistakes, is that I will have to create every single stop that there will be, and oops, that should not happen. This stop simply can't continue beyond that point because we need to make this turn. Well, okay, seems a bit difficult at the moment. Let's see if I can push it. Yes, I can push it. So there is an important stop, and these trams will not stop. These buses will not stop there, but it's created now to avoid further problems. The following stop is at Intiankatu. Well, there is actually another stop that this line misses, which makes things very interesting, but nevertheless we will also create that stop. This is getting interesting. Yeah, let's create that stop now, because otherwise I will be in trouble later on. And that's nothing I'm happy about. No, please don't do this. There is actually a tram track running through this stretch of road, because there is a massive tram depot somewhere around here. Why don't do depot lines? So we'll just let it pass. But then it's the following stop. The real stop is Intiankatu, Indiagatan. Well, you can already see that it's named after the country of India. But so there, now we are reaching new areas which are unexplored by other lines. Then I think it turns right from there, if I remember correctly. Yes, it does. The following stop is called Käpylän. Wait. What the hell? No, it's Kumpula Gumtekt. It's located in here. This is also a nice area of town with very old buildings. But as you can see, as I've already told you, there is a lot to create. There is absolutely very much to create, and this video will probably be quite long because of that. But it all has to be created, and so I will not complain more. Then we have Käpyläntie Kottbyvägen, which is located just before the big crossing over here. There we go. And there, this stretch has been covered. just cross that big boulevard over there, the boulevard of broken dreams. Well, just kidding. Following stop is called Väinölä Gränd, and we'll place it right over here. There we go. We've already, as you can see, we haven't come very far, and yet we've already created more track than usually is created. The following stop is Koskelan Sairaala, Forsby sjukhus, and it's located over here. And the following stop is Taivaskallio, Himmelsberget. And there is a strange roundabout in here, but I will just skip it and run the road straight through it. There is no need to stop over here or to make things difficult. That crossing can be overridden. Let's see in the future how it will shape it. And then we have Jalantie, Jalavägen. That's located between the two last roads. Yes, that's quite right. Actually, it's located over here. There we go. Next stop connected, and the following stop is called Kotoniityntie, and it's not too far from Jalantie. It's Kottingsvägen. That's an interesting way to translate it, but okay. And the following stop is Caputiep, Kottvägen. Oops. And what happens now is probably that it will join the tram tracks for a second, which is quite right actually. It will join the tram tracks in here. But like I said, not for a very long while. The tram tracks will continue straight, and the bus line will turn right in there to Kylän vanhimman tie, Byelstevägen. Also a very familiar stop for me. Let's just see how I will deal with this crossing. Because I also know that there are lines continuing straight from here, so I think I will create a straight track. And then I will deal with this turn, which actually does seem... no, it didn't seem that complicated. Good, well done. So there, that should be a functioning crossing. Then let's see where we're going after that. Okay. This is an interesting turn of events. Let me see. It turns right in there, and the flowing stop is... oops. It's gonna be over here. Let's just see that I haven't missed any stops. No, I haven't. No, I haven't, and I will once again prepare for the future by creating this track like this, because there are several lines which continue straight from there. So, and I'm just so glad I know this city by heart and I know how the lines function, because when I get to other cities which I don't know, things will perhaps get a bit interesting, but I should not be worried about that right now. Right now it's about creating line 53. So there is one stop on this nice little loop the bus makes, and then there's also Givalderintie 16, Givalderivägen 16, which is right over... Am I in the wrong place actually? Yes, I am. Sorry about that. Oh, oops. No, that wasn't supposed to happen. This stop can be deleted for good, because the Givalderintie 20 stop is over here, not on that road. There we go. and it's actually Gevaldigervägen. That's the way. Now it's spelled correctly. And then Gevaldigervägen 16 is located a bit further south. Over here. And the following stop comes right after the crossing where it returns to the ordinary route, so-called ordinary route. And I will create the basis of the ordinary route right over there, and then we will just turn it left from there. So this loop has been successfully constructed. I don't know, these 50 beginning lines are basically probably designed just for transferring people from one line to another because their routes are so strange. But nevertheless, we will continue, and then we have Oldermannintie, Oldemansvägen. It's located just before the big crossing over there. We go. The following stop is Tinasepäntie, then Gjutavägen, and then we have Vaskisepäntie, Koppaslagavägen, and then guess what? We are meeting another line. So no creating stops in a while, but if I remember correctly, this sort of unison with the other line does not last for long. So it's Niitrantie, Koivikkotie, Vesakkotie. But after that, we turned right. This is interesting. I don't even remember which line this thing is. Okay, it's 23. And then it's gonna be Metsäpuronkuja Skogsbäcksgränd. And it's gonna be somewhere around here, I guess. Yes, it's luckily marked on the map. There we go. Now let's just, before doing this solution, let's just make one more check. And that check is that there is no other line running this stretch of track, because otherwise I would have had to create another stop over there, but that's not going to happen, then that's not going to happen. And it seems like we're meeting another, or actually we're meeting line number 23 again. It seems because the following stop is at Pirkkola-Britas. Right. And let's build the connection to the right track, not the tram track, but the bus track, and it actually shouldn't look like that. Okay, let's start from the other end here. And then just push the turn as far as, let's just push it over that line, and now it looks good. Now it looks like a doable turn. Well done. Well done. And there. Then it will join this line for a while. It will stop at Pirkkola, it will stop at Plotinrinne, and then it once again runs its own ways. And the following stop is at Hämeenlinnan Väylä, which is actually a sister stop to the tram 15 under the bridge. Oops, let's move above ground there. So there we go. The route, is quite interesting in my opinion, because I think this line is just meant to serve connecting passengers. No one in their right mind would run a line like this. And then we have Teuvopakkalantie, Teuvopakkalasväg. Over here, Teuvo is a very famous author. following stop most likely is Ilkantie Ilkkavägen. Yes, that's quite correct. So let's once again merge the tram line with the bus line. There. And then after that sort of a merger, it will turn right. I perhaps should have built a roundabout in here, but I didn't. My mistake. Besides, the roundabout wouldn't have helped anything with the tram track because trams don't believe in roundabouts. So there it goes to Tallinnaukio. It goes to Idalbergentie, it goes to Näyttelijäntie 22, and it goes to Näyttelijäntie. And now let's see where it goes from there on. Oh yes, it still goes on to Lassila. Brilliant, brilliant. There is still more than 10 stops left, so like I said, this is going to be a very, very long line. And after Lassila, it's going to stop at Vaakatie, Vågvägen. And Vågvägen is going to be right over here. And then it will probably cross the yes, it will cross the highway in Marttila, and the stop will also be called Marttila. So this is a transfer stop between the two lines. Let's treat it as one. They are different stops, yes, but oh, please don't. When the stops have the same name, then I think it's just easier to merge them to transfer stops. Although I think, believe the passengers nowadays in this game can actually travel between stops. But okay. Then we have Meijeritie, which is okay. Which is that one? There is a big dairy processing plant in the area, and that's what it's named after. The plant is actually going to close, so there is new space for new apartments pretty shortly. Now that stop cannot run beyond this crossing. So this is probably the right way to do it. Let's just add more signals because, oops. I am used to the traffic getting stalled in the previous versions, and I don't want that to happen now. And then we have Atomitie, Atomvägen, probably. Yes, quite right. So. Well, we're pretty close to the end, but not quite there yet. The following stop is the Pitäjänmäki station. That's why we'll once again connect it with the red station. I use this stop quite often too. So again, once again, the area is very familiar to me. There are several bus lines also using this track, so let's just leave it some space. But then we'll once again move to the part of Helsinki which is more unfamiliar with to me. Järnettie Bågsträngsvägen. Okay, so it's gonna be at that crossing there. Oh, no, please don't. I don't want to create massive platforms. We don't need massive platforms. We need wine and cheese. But that's not the point in this game, so no more about that. Where do we go next? Following stop is called Kokkokallio, Kokkoberget, and it's over here. We are really reaching the end of this this line. We don't have much left. And it's actually been, although it's been a heavy line to create, it's been an enjoyment. I mean, I can visit familiar places. I can imagine how they look like in real life, and I can build stops. And then the following stop is called. So this route once again takes an interesting turn. I will once again have to create a stop which will remain unused. Or maybe I won't, because I can create it to the other side of the crossing. Yes, that's what I can do. So the following stop will be here. And it's gonna be called Aittatie Bodvägen. The stop in reality should be to the south of this crossing, but I will create it to the north of this crossing with no actual damage happening. Let's build a bridge in here because there will certainly be some buses running underneath it, and that looks like a bridge in reality. So yeah, that one stop changes positions a bit. And once again, this line doesn't follow the straightest route to its intended destination. It makes another strange turn to the left, which means it's probably made for transferring passengers. Now then, the following stop is Sotilaspellontie Soldatåkersviken. Yes, then it will be before this loop in the road, so it will be right here. There we go. Not much left now. I think it's 5 stops left. And the following stop is called Sänketie Stubgärdesvägen. Stubgärdesvägen, okay. That's an interesting name in Swedish. Was it like that? It was like that. It's a very simple name in Finnish, but quite a difficult one in Swedish actually. That's not my problem though. And then what do we have next? Hillapellontie, Ledåkersviken. This area is named after military things, although this stop is an exception because it's named after a berry. But anyways. The following stop is Uusmäki, which probably is Nybacka in Swedish. And how right I am. And now just a couple of stops left, and oops. And then this line is fulfilled. And actually creating these lines before lines number 60s and 70s will probably save me a lot of time later. The following stop is called Alokastie, And that's gonna be right there, Rekrytvägen. Yes, over here. And guess what, guys? And gals, and others. It's just the terminus left, and then this line will be over. It did take quite a lot of time. Like I've said previously, these lines are fairly intensive to build. That's where the others continue. This line will not continue there. This stop is called Rykmentimäki Regementsbacken, and it's the terminus. So we'll build the loop in here. And according to the map, we've actually reached the side of Espoo, which is surprising because these should be internal Helsinki lines. But I guess life doesn't always follow governmental decisions. But yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Let's build the track. Okay, one bad angle. It says let's try to fix it. And that's fixed. Brilliant. Build it. And lines. I think I said it was 53. The ticket will be the traditional 3.5 because it only runs through one zone. And although several of the lines I'm going to create in the future are going to be running across zones, it will still be the 3.5 euros. So we'll start at Rykmentimäki and then we'll stop at there we go. And I wonder if I still can remember the stops where I'm not supposed to stop at. There were a couple of them. This stop actually has some issues. There. Yes, that's fixed. And then that was wrong. Now we'll have to check where this thing runs to. And that's the stop where it doesn't stop at. Okay, nice to know. I think there were 2 stops where it doesn't stop. And this was the second one, right? Yes, I think I nailed it. And there we go. The line is ready. Now let's check the interval. It only runs on weekdays, but I will run it every day. Okay, when trying to check this, it actually seems to just crash. So let's see. $20. 20 minutes it is. So let's open the line to passenger service. Let's copy the latest bus. And there we go. It's 53. That's it. Let's run line 53. Bus number 53 runs line number 53. That's nice. It's almost a 2-hour line, so I think we're gonna need quite many trains to buses to run it. Perhaps 1 or 2 more, I think. I mean, there we go. No, that was it. That was it. There was only 6 buses needed for the line, which was nice. And 58 is the kind of VMAS we have at the moment in the fleet. So there, that was line number 53. And we're going to return tomorrow, or I am going to return tomorrow, I and my other personalities, with the following line. Let's see what it will be. Still can't be sure about that, but the final thing to say is left, and that is bye.